It's Jeanette and Dean here again from Aussie-Travellers. You may have seen on our YouTube channel that we've been travelling throughout Mexico. So how we've been doing that is partly we've just been tourists, and some of the time we've been house and pet sitting. So our gigs have taken us to lots of different places throughout Mexico, and we've really enjoyed it because not only do we get to be tourists and see what Mexico has to offer, but we get to enjoy other people's fur babies along the way, which is something we just really do love. Let's have a look, and we'll share with you the little puppies that we've had the pleasure of taking care of, and cats as well, and turtles. Our first sit was in Lake Chapala, looking after two beautiful dogs called Buddy and Honey. Lake Chapala, or Lago de Chapala in Spanish. Lake Chapala is on Mexico's largest freshwater lake, and it's located in the state of Jalisco. And it's got the largest concentration of expats in Mexico. And that's mainly due to its mild weather that it has all year round, apparently. The sit was a little bit out of town, so a rural setting, which we quite enjoyed of a night because it wasn't so noisy like some of the other Mexican cities we've been to. No fireworks getting set off. But it was close enough to do some touristy stuff during the day as well. We do get asked a lot of questions about house sitting as we've travelled our way around Mexico, and one of the questions is how long have we been doing house sitting? We started it last year in August, and Buddy and Honey were our first house sit, and we really loved it. The whole experience was very positive, and it just gave us an opportunity to see other parts of Mexico. Another question we get asked is how do you go about house and pet sitting? We used a paid site called housesitmexico.com, and I'll put the link in our details of our YouTube clip. And we also used a Facebook group as well, but this one, when we were with Buddy and Honey, was with housesitmexico.com. Next sit was in the city of Cuernavaca, and Cuernavaca is the capital city of the state of Morelia, which is about a 90-minute drive south of Mexico City. It's also known as the City of Eternal Springs. So it's been one of those places where you were living in Mexico City. A lot of people living there would escape to Cuernavaca on the weekends just to get out of the city. We often get asked how you can go about starting house and pet sitting. The first thing you'll need to do is a profile, and sometimes this can be difficult talking about yourself, but you'll need to give the homeowner some idea of your background, usually age bracket, if you've had any experience house and pet sitting, and also are you a couple, family, single person? Give the homeowner your story so they feel comfortable with who's going to be in their home. Be open and honest with the homeowner. As I said, they are letting you look after their pets and also live in their home for a short period of time. So be open and honest. She caught it. Yay. After these two sits, we took some time out just to enjoy our life of living at Puerto Escondido on the Pacific coast, the southern part of Mexico. Our daughter came to visit us over the Christmas period as well. That is the nice thing about house and pet sitting, is that there is that flexibility of you can pick and choose when you're available. We made some really great friends and have lots of fun memories from Puerto Escondido. There's always pros and cons with capacity. Some of the pros are that you do get to see different parts of the world depending on where you are. We absolutely love cats and dogs, and so us being here in Mexico, away from our two fur babies back in Australia, Missy and Charlie, we jumped at the opportunity to have pets around so that, you know, if we give them love and attention. And then when we were ready, we started to apply again, and we picked up a 1-month house sit in San Miguel de Allende. It's located a few hours north of Mexico City in the state of Guanajuato. This city is absolutely beautiful. It's steeped in history. It was founded back in pre-1541. It has Baroque and neoclassical architecture and attracts a lot of artists to the city. The central part of the city is the oldest part and has these really cute little narrow cobblestone streets. We absolutely loved it. The camera just kept clicking away. It's very popular, San Miguel de Allende, for American and Canadian retirees and also digital nomads. As I said before, we had a 1-month sit there with this adorable long-haired chihuahua called Coco, and we fell in love with Coco. We tend to get to a house sit at least one day before so that we can have a night there at the house with the owner and the animals get time to get used to us. And some of the things that we don't generally cover this off until we're face to face with the homeowners, but we do, like we've had the ones that have had the medical requirements, but we also then do cover off while we're there, you know, what happens, you know, if, you know, the worst happens basically, what do they want from us? Do they want us to take the advice from the vet? Do they want us to contact them? Some homeowners, you know, they're going on holiday, so one lady, she didn't want to be contacted if the worst happened with her puppy. We were a bit sad when our 1-month house sit finished with Coco, but next stop was Aja-Hic in the state of Jalisco. Aja-Hic is very close to Lake Chapala. It's all the same area. So when we got back into this area, it was very familiar. This time we had a couple of weeks house sit for 2 rescue dogs called Daisy and Moose. While we were there, we also got to do a bit more tourist stuff that we didn't do the previous time we were in this area. Day trip up to Guadalajara. My sister and brother-in-law were visiting from Australia, so we got to catch up with them here in this area. And we also got to have a revisit of Honey and Buddy and the homeowner, Gloria, who has become a friend of ours. We went out to Guachimontones, which is a pyramid site, and all the pyramids are circular. They are more commonly known as the green pyramids because once the wet season has hit, the pyramids are all green, the grass is growing all over them. But they were brown when we were there, unfortunately. With my sister and brother-in-law, we also went to Tlaquepaque, which is an area of Guadalajara, and it's got a lot of artistic works there, colour and activity. I mentioned before that Daisy and Moose were rescue dogs, and they're one of the lucky ones that obviously got rescued. But street dogs in Mexico is a major problem and a very sad situation to see. There's a lot of expat groups as we went around the country that band together to try and get these dogs adopted and have a forever home. They may be shipped back to Canada or to the States. And they'll also have a program generally once a month in some areas where they'll bring in any street dogs and have them spayed, so we just don't have this continuation of more street dogs. It's only just a drop in the bucket, but everything helps. So with this sit done, we said goodbye to this part of Mexico and we headed south. We had a week to get down to Chapala in the Quintana Roo state. We had a few stops along the way, and one of those places was Morelia, the capital of Michoacan. It's the most Spanish city in Mexico. There's lots of 17th and 18th century colonial buildings and an aqueduct as well. The aqueduct has 253 arches and it was constructed in 1785. It was very impressive. It took us a week to hit the Gulf of Mexico and we stayed in a little place called Paraíso. And also the next night in Isla Aguada before we started to head across the Campeche state over to the Caribbean side of Mexico. Our Chapala sit had 2 dogs and 3 cats, Roscoe, Joey, Sophie, Simon and Willow. We arrived in Chapala in the hottest month of the year, June, so it was lucky these guys had a pool because you can melt in this country.
How is it? Jojo.
If we've applied for a house sit and we've got a positive response from the homeowner, and generally there'll be emails to and froing initially, they might ask us questions, we might ask them a few more questions like their internet speed. Adine is a digital nomad, so internet speed is something that's crucial for us. And also we negotiate other things like having my sister and brother-in-law come and visit us at the house. We had a discussion with the homeowner about that just so that they were aware that my sister and brother-in-law were going to be there and were comfortable with it. If the homeowner's happy with us and we're happy with the initial situation, what we tend to do is then arrange a Skype interview with them. So some homeowners don't want that, others do, but our personal preference is to have that because the homeowner needs to feel comfortable with us, but we also need to feel comfortable being there at the house and the pets, etc., and what the responsibilities are. So quite often you get a pretty good feel when you've done a Skype interview with them. While we were on the sit, we took the opportunity to go to Bacala Lagoons. It was just a short 40-minute drive up the road. Bacala is also known as the Lagoon of 7 colours. When the sun hits it, that's how many shades of blue you see. It's absolutely spectacular. And quite often we get asked where's our favourite spot in Mexico, and for me Bacala would have to be right up there as possibly number 1. It's absolutely Mother Nature at its best. If you would like to know more about Bacala Lagoons, on our website I've written a blog on it and I'll put the details of our website just here below. With this sit done, our next sit was on the island of Cozumel, which is off the coast of Playa del Carmen. We ended up having 3 house sits on the island. The first one was this cute little Yorkie called Midget and Turtles. The main economy for Cozumel is tourism, and in the peak season they can have up to 14 cruise ships a day arriving on the island. The homeowner said there was about 100 turtles. We'd only ever see them when we put the sprinklers on in the backyard and we had pawpaw out ready to feed them. We do get asked if we charge for our services. Generally we don't. The common arrangement for sits is we don't charge the homeowner and they don't charge us for the accommodation and services like electricity or internet, etc. It's just an exchange of services per se. Our second sit on the island was with a sweet pit bull named Nalu. Nalu used to get really hot, so she'd take herself out and put herself in the swimming pool and sit on the step and just chill out. Our third sit on the island was with a feisty little chihuahua named Chispa and a cute little white fluffy named Lakshmi. Once again, these 2 were rescue dogs and they were great little mates. I mentioned before that Cozumel's main source of their economy is tourism. It does have some beautiful beaches and great spots to go and snorkel or scuba dive. One of the nice things with Cozumel is that you don't have to take a tour for that, you can just snorkel straight off the beach. Our next stop was Playa del Carmen, just a short ferry ride away, and we looked after Paco and Chili, 2 super cute Yorkies.
What's up?
So why do we like house sitting? We've always had pets, and when our children were growing up we always had animals around. Dogs, cats, fish, birds. Happy to say no snakes, lizards or pet mice though. And we love to travel, so we wanted to be able to travel, but we really missed our fur babies back home, Missy and Charlie. So pet sitting just gives us a chance to enjoy a variety of animals along the way. We've combined the 2 and it really works for us and it makes total sense. Not so easy to do, but we try and keep up an exercise routine when we're on the road as well. We ended up looking after Paco and Chili on 2 occasions.
Hey, Paco.
And once we were done on
we
our
can do
final
it.
sit at Playa del Carmen, it was time to head back to Puerto Escondido for a 1-month sit.
Good boy.
I mentioned before that Dean is a digital nomad, so we need to make sure that we have good internet access and a comfortable workspace as we move around with our travels. Being in someone's home instead of a hotel room is perfect. Being a freelancer or a digital nomad is a great supplementary income for travel expenses that we might occur along the way. Our time in Mexico, we were lucky enough to make friends with Michelle, and Michelle is able to help new and experienced freelancers or digital nomads get started so that you too can work from anywhere in the world. If you want Michelle's help to get started, you can email us and we'd be happy to hook you up with her and give you her contact details. We tend to do what we call slow moving travel. So we're attracted to house sits that are around a 3 or 4 week minimum. We always say our sweet spot is a 1 month or longer house sit. This also gives us time to settle in and really get to know the pets as well. So, who is suitable to do house sittings? Just about anyone really. If you enjoy animals, that's always a good start. If you're travelling, if you're a digital nomad, it can be really handy. Or if you're retired, your dates are obviously a lot more flexible. Some people work part-time and they might just do, or full-time, but they may just do house sits locally. We were travelling throughout Mexico, and our dates were flexible. Dean, as I said before, does a bit of IT consulting, so his hours are flexible. He can, as long as we've got internet access, he can work anytime. So the benefit is that we can be tourists when we want to, and we can have days where we're just at home with the animals. With our final sit done with Jax in Mexico, it was not long after that we headed back to Australia to see our family, friends and our fur baby.